Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn about basic electronic components. The objectives for today's class are 1. To differentiate between active and passive electronic components, to name the basic electronic components, and to list the functions of each component. Welcome. Electronic components are used for building electronic circuits. The function of the electronic components in the circuit are to help it to function correctly and to complete it. Most of these components have 2 or more terminals. These terminals are what is used to connect the component to other components in the circuit. Some other components are composed of several semiconductor devices which are packaged together to make an IC. An IC is an integrated circuit. All basic electronic components are divided into two major groups, that is, active electronic components and passive electronic components. Active electronic components supply energy to a circuit. They are power driven through an electric source, and that source is usually a DC energy source. A good quality active electronic component should consist of an oscillator, an IC that is an integrated circuit, and a transistor. Examples of active electronic components are voltage sources, current sources, generators, transistors, diodes, ICs, display devices, the cathode ray tube, among others. Later in the lesson, we are going to tackle each of these components individually to be able to know what their function in a circuit is. Passive electronic components are components that only receive energy. Once they receive this energy, they can either dissipate it, absorb it, or store it in an electric field or a magnetic field. Passive electronic elements do not need electrical power to be able to operate. They mainly have two terminals, and examples of passive electronic components are resistors, capacitors, inductors, and transformers. We are now going to tackle each individual electronic component in detail, and we are going to begin with voltage sources. As earlier indicated, voltage sources are active components. They are two-terminal devices which can maintain a fixed voltage. An ideal voltage source should be able to maintain the fixed voltage independent of the load resistance or the output current. This is, however, not attainable in real world, as a voltage source cannot supply unlimited current. What we have below here in our slide is the symbols for an AC voltage source and a DC voltage source. The next component we are going to tackle is diodes. Diodes are also an active component of electronic circuit. A diode allows current to flow in one direction, and it is made of semiconductor material. A diode usually has two terminals, the anode and which is the positive terminal, and the cathode, which is the negative terminal. Diodes are mostly used in converting circuits, for example when converting AC to DC. There are many types of diodes, and they include PN diodes, Zener diodes, LEDs, and photodiodes. We have not really gone into the details of the types of diodes, but hopefully we can do that in another session. The other component are current sources. Current sources are also active electronic components, and the current supplied to the circuit by an ideal current source is independent of the circuit voltage. The next component that we are going to tackle is transistors. Transistors are also an active circuit component, and they are mostly used as a switching or an amplifying device. Transistors have three terminals, that is the base, collector, and emitter. They can be voltage or current controlled. Transistors are of two types: bipolar junction transistor BJT and field effect transistors FET. The BJT and FET can further be grouped into either PNP or NPN transistors. On the right hand side of our slide, we have the circuit symbols for the PNP and NPN transistors, as well as photos of what a real-life transistor looks like. Everyone, I am sorry I was not able to tackle all the basic electronic components. This video was part of my coursework and as such was time constrained. However, if you really like the content I shared in this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment. Tell me where I need to improve. I will be sharing more videos to especially cover the content that I was not able to cover in this video. Thank you.